Salvete omnes, ego sum Magister Sullivan, and we're going to talk about Apollo and Daphne from Ovid's Metamorphoses, Book 1, lines 463 to 473. So this is titled Slings and Arrows. So the tale begins as a case of sibling rivalry between two brothers. Apollo, exulting in his recent slaughter of the monster python with bow and arrows, mocks Cupid for carrying similar weapons. Cupid takes offense to this and decides to show his older brother precisely what his weapons can do. He shoots two arrows. With one, the golden arrow, he causes Apollo to fall in love. With the other, the arrow of lead, he causes Daphne to become repelled by the same emotion. All right, so here we go. So the sun of Venus, and before we start, let me just indicate that orange here is the subject nominative or nominative subject. We'll just go in order. The blue here is dative of indirect object or dative case. The red here is genitive or possessive. Right? The green is accusative of direct object. And then the purple here is ablative. Usually ablatives are in prepositional phrases. They're also adverbial clauses, so they tell us kind of how something's going to be done. And then the brown here is best used for conjunctions. So here we go. The sun, and then the sun of Venus says, there's our main verb, to this God, right? To this God, meaning, and this is all these things that are in parentheses are not in the original text. So they're added in for context. So to this God, meaning Apollo, he says, Phoebus, this is a vocative, or Apollo, let your bow pierce, fix everything. My bow will pierce you. And then we have quanto que animalia cedunt cuncta Deo. So by as much as all the animals yield to the god, by that much is your glory lesser or less than my glory, right? My glory, right? So here we have, this is called a comparative adjective, right? And these are ablative of comparisons, right? Usually you'd see quam nostra gloria without the macron, but here we don't have that. All right, moving on, we have Cupid said, and with the air having been cut, with wings or feathers having been beaten. So this construction, we have A, B, A, B. This is called interlocking word order. As you can see, the words are interlocking, right? So A, B is called synchesis or interlocking word order. We're also going to see something called chiasmus, which is A, B, A. We'll actually see that fairly soon. So, energetic Cupid stood. This is past tense. Stood on the shadowy citadel of Mount Parnassus. And he took out two arrows from his arrow. This is from his arrow carrying quiver. So just above we had A, B, A, B word order. Now look, we have A, B, B, A word order. So it creates a rainbow. So it's called rainbow word order, or we call it chiasmus, Chiasmus. It's a Greek term. And so these are two arrows, two weapons of different tasks, of different works. All right, and now we're going to learn about what those two different things are. So this weapon makes or puts love to flight. That weapon makes love. That which makes love is golden and gleams with a sharp point. This which puts love to flight is blunt and has lead under the shaft. The god pierced this, so this weapon in the Penaean nymph. This is referring to Daphne, the nymph Daphne. Peneade is referring to her father, Peneus, who happens to be a river god. But Lycete is like Wulnerawit. He wounded the pierced. Oh, I'm sorry. This is I I messed this up. I messed this up. So he wounded the marrow of Apollo through the transfixed bone. So this is another example of chiasmus, right? So we have A, B, and the wording, the lettering down here is off. Again, it should be that he wounded. So, but he wounded, meaning Cupid wounded uh, the marrow of Apollo through the transfixed or pierced bones with that weapon. Okay, I'll go ahead and make that adjustment on the sheet, but it'll be like this here. So takeaways, there's a couple poetic devices, right? There's A, B, which is synchesis, word, and then we have chiasmus A, B, A, and we also have it down below here, even though the numbering is messed up. All right, so what we should take away from this is that Cupid is going to teach his brother Apollo a lesson for mocking him, and that he's got two different types of weapons, two different types of arrows, right? And we should know, again, what those arrows do. They make love and they put love to flight. And who is infixed, or who is affixed, or who is struck, right, by each arrow. So Apollo is struck with the arrow that facit amore, makes love, and Daphne is struck with the arrow that fugat amore. All right, omnes. All right, that's it. That is Apollo and Daphne, lines 463 to 473. We'll be back. We're going to skip a little bit up to 490 next time, but valete omnes.